Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. Am I the idiot for not wanting to hear my deceased father's voice, 22 years after his passing? My dad passed away unexpectedly when I was 4, and don't get me wrong, from what I was told he was an amazing human being, husband to my mom, and father to my brother and I. I don't remember my dad, as I was very young to remember. I don't know what he sounded like, or his mannerisms or anything of the sort. I have only seen him in photos and know of him from what my family tell me. It's not like my mom didn't take any recordings of us, but this was a while ago and all of the recordings she had were left in a different state with an aunt and we never saw them again until recently. At the time we also moved to a different country, so it was even harder to even look for them. My mom, 22 years later, found a copy of one recording of my dad, my brother, and I when we were little. She burned them together on a CD and gave a copy to my brother and I. She really wanted to watch it together when she visited, but both my brother and I honestly couldn't do it. I don't know about why my brother didn't want to watch it, but for me I just have this very strange feeling of knowing that I will be a complete mess when I hear my dad's voice for the first time. I have told my mom multiple times that I would probably feel better if I watch it alone because that would make me feel more comfortable, but she got really upset at that. She said that I'm the idiot because she went through the trouble of finding the recordings and burning them on a CD for me just to not watch it with her or at all. I wanna watch it eventually, but I just don't feel ready to do so yet, and I honestly don't want to watch it with her or anybody. I just don't know why, and I feel selfish for doing that. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Everyone is ready for this type of thing at different times. It's going to be a really emotional experience for you to watch this, and your mother should respect the fact that you'd like to do it in private. Perhaps talk to your mother and make sure she understands that you're really grateful for the effort that she went to, but that this is going to be a difficult thing for you and you'd like to watch it on your own first and have that moment in private. Perhaps in the future you can watch it together. Not the idiot. Grief works differently for everyone. Sure, your mother is probably thinking it would make her feel better to watch it with you, but if it isn't the same for you, she needs to accept that. It's not being selfish, it's self-preservation. NTA not at all. Your mom's feelings are hurt because of the effort she put into it and because she didn't get the reaction she expected. Tell her that you do appreciate it, but that you need time to prepare yourself for it and would like to watch it first privately, when you're ready, because you don't know how you'll handle it. Tell her there may be a time when you will want to watch it together, but there's no promises. Am I the idiot for telling my landlord that my housemate left his food alone and burned the kitchen floor? Last night I woke to smoke alarms going off. I got up and found my housemate, Jay, had left his food unattended on the gas stove top. Again. It was 12:30 AM. Smoke all through the house. Last time he left his food alone and it caught fire. I tried to explain kitchen safety to him. I was suspicious that he didn't take it seriously, but he said he wouldn't do it again. Cut to last night and there's a burn mark on the kitchen floor, presumably from where he placed the on fire pot. I basically said, WTF. You left your food unattended again? He said it was fine because it was, and I quote, only a small fire. I gave him another kitchen safety talk and he said he learned his lesson. As soon as the smoke alarm stopped, I went to bed. I was pissed. Come morning, I was tired from not sleeping and still pissed off. I sent the following text to my landlord. Hi, landlord. Next time you're in the house, you may have questions about the very noticeable burn mark on the kitchen floor. The smoke set the fire alarms off at around 12:30 AM last night. This is because Jay left his food unattended, again, while cooking, despite the fact that I've explained basic kitchen safety to him when his food was on fire last time. Double quote. Landlord said he'd give Jay a call. This is a share house in the sense that we rent individual rooms so the landlord can come and go, and we have no say on who moves in. Bond is separate for each person. When I first sent the text, I was pissed off and felt justified. Now I realize Jay might lose his bond or may even be evicted since our landlord hates people damaging the place. Am I the idiot for sending the text? Was there a better way to go about this? Landlord was going to find out eventually. I still don't feel that bad, but I would like a wider opinion. My other housemates say I was justified, but they like me and agree with me on a lot of things. I've never had any personal issues with J. Info from relevant agency. Serious damage to premises. The landlord can apply for a termination order if the tenant recklessly or intentionally damages the rented premises in any way, or is likely to do so. He probably won't be evicted, but I'm still concerned. The burn is round and 18 centimeters in diameter. It's melted through the vinyl. Not the idiot. I think the most important point is next time it won't be just a small fire, it could be a big fire and seriously kill someone. Why do you even have to explain kitchen safety to Jay anyway? Is he not an adult? Yikes. Once again, not the idiot. He's at least 30. I'm 19. I shouldn't need to explain it to a grown-up man, but I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Not the idiot. My god. He could have killed you. I've worked in many restaurants and cooked dinner most nights, and I've never burned food, let alone allowed it to catch fire. If every meal tastes good is another story. That's not to brag, that's me stating that it's hard to let food get that bad. That's negligence. After 2 incidents he should be shook that he almost killed people and destroyed his and others' homes twice. Instead you make it sound like it's in one ear and out the other. Not the idiot. Your lease isn't tied up in Jay's, but Jay could easily blame you for his damage if the landlord asks and you aren't around. Furthermore, Jay keeps, quite literally, putting your life in danger. He could burn the house down if he doesn't catch a fire. If there's oil or grease, it's not easy to put out and could get out of control really fast. Not the idiot. What would have happened if your smoke alarms were broken? That's super dangerous, and your housemate has shown he clearly doesn't care what happened since he did it again after being told how dangerous it was. Not to mention, if you didn't tell the landlord, when he chooses to visit next, if he asks the housemate, he would probably blame someone else for it because, from what I've seen, he doesn't seem all that interested in taking blame for what he does. It's very good of you to talk to your landlord about this either way. Who knows what's going to happen next time? Am I the idiot for distancing myself from my cousin because I feel too involved in her family matters? Throwaway account. I, 22F, am very close with my extended family. We are all similar in age and grew up together. I have a lot of cousins, but today I will focus on one of them and we'll call her C, 22F. C has always had issues with her mother, T, being overbearing and controlling and are constantly arguing. T is infamous for always calling others, especially her nieces and nephews, whenever she gets into arguments with C. She usually asks us to talk to C. Whenever she calls, all of us brush it off and remind her that C is an adult. One day, T calls me in tears. She tells me that she got into a heated argument with C and that C stormed out of the house and is worried she doesn't know where she went. Now, I actually knew where C was as she contacted me a little bit earlier and gave me a briefing of what happened. Nothing too detailed, just that she argued with her mom and got so mad that she left. I decided to let T know where C was so she wouldn't worry. She then asks me to talk to C and ends the call. I messaged C and let her know that her mom called and was worried about her. C didn't really take it well and told me that her mom was manipulating me into feeling bad for her as T already knew where she went. I was upset that T lied to me, but I didn't want to be pressed any further. A few days later, T calls me again and she starts yelling at me. She told me that she talked to me thinking that it would help her relationship with C, but they got into another heated argument and it got worse. She asked me why I told C that she called and I told her that I wanted C to know that she was worried. I also reminded her once again that C is an adult. She continued to berate me, then hung up. I was furious at this point. C is literally a grown woman that I have no influence over and T does not seem to understand that. I also did not appreciate being brought up in an argument that I had nothing to do with. I was mad at both of them for dragging me into their own personal feud. If you're wondering where C's dad is, he doesn't have the courage to stand up to his wife and daughter, so he just stares at them whenever they argue. I decided then that I would distance myself from C and T so that they can figure this out between themselves. C did not take this well and told me that she shouldn't reap the consequences of what her mother did wrong, but I told her that she also had no business in mentioning me during their argument. She told me I was targeting my anger in the wrong place and that it was unfair that our relationship has to be strained because her mother doesn't know her boundaries. I feel bad because C and I are very close, but no matter how much I brush it off, it always seems like I get too involved. So, am I the idiot for distancing myself from my cousin because I feel too involved in her family matters? Edit. I realize I forgot to mention the dynamic between C and myself. C also has a similar habit to T where she'll call others after an argument to seek validation or just to vent. I'm usually one of the first people she'd call. I did talk to her once about how I didn't enjoy being in the middle of it all and she kind of had that it is what it is attitude. So, while I could just stop communicating with T, I'd still have to deal with C. If it's true that none of this is C's fault, then you are the idiot. You don't have to pick up the phone where her mom calls. If C isn't constantly exhausting you with her drama, and it's always coming from your aunt, you shouldn't punish your cousin by distancing yourself and ruin a perfectly good relationship because her mom doesn't have boundaries. If it's something you absolutely must do for the good of your mental health, okay, but engaging with T is a choice. Every time you answer the phone or respond to a text from T, or act as a go-between for her and her daughter, that's a choice. You do you, but if this could be solved by just not engaging with T, then you are the idiot. Would I be the idiot if I don't apologize my mom? I, 17F, feel like I'm in the right here, but my sibling, 20NB, says I'm not being empathetic and I should consider my mom's feelings. I love my mom very much, but it seems that everything I do is a problem for her. We often get into fights because my mom gets mad at a lot of things we do. She often is a gaslighter and manipulative. For example, she will say very mean and hurtful things, and then when we get upset about those things and tell her that it hurt us, she will say I never said that. She calls us disrespectful for saying how we feel, or say anything that goes against what she said. She still calls my sibling their dead name and does not use their correct pronouns, even though my mom has said in the past that she respects it, and she will try very hard to use the correct name and pronouns. She does not. Her and her boyfriend don't care at all, and when my mom's friend tried to use the correct name, my mom laughed. Close bracket. A few days ago, I got really angry. I know I shouldn't have, she just really pushes my buttons sometimes, and I said a lot of mean stuff to her. I called her manipulative and controlling to her face, and when she walked away I screamed that she was full of crap, and her toxic boyfriend deserve each other. That day she kicked me out of the house and she told me she never wanted to see me again. This happens often, but after my dad refused to take me in, she suggested I go to a shelter, and my sibling talked her down and she let me come back home. Today, my mom, sibling and I started to talk about what we were going to do with the utensils and plates. Bad time, but we're moving soon. My mom suggested that we should put everything away and buy paper plates and cups, while my sibling suggested we leave a few plates out and put everything else away, and if you needed something you would wash it. Somehow this developed into a huge discussion as my mom was set on her idea and would not change her mind. At a point of exhaustion with the argument going on, I said that we should just do my mom's idea so that the argument could end. This argument evolved into a huge thing and my mom yelled at me, calling me disrespectful and disobedient. She said she didn't want to speak to me, and it was then I told her that she feels the need to control me and my sibling and she likes pulling the rug from under us by constantly kicking us out. She then got very upset and went on a huge rant on how disrespectful I am and she can't wait until I move out. After, my sibling told me I should apologize and that I'm not empathetic to her or how she feels, and that I only say things to hurt her. I replied that she does the exact same, and even though she is my mother, it doesn't absolve her from saying mean things. Would I be the idiot if I don't apologize? Not the idiot. Good for you for standing up for yourself and your sibling. All I would say is please be careful. If you choose not to apologize and she kicks you out again, would you have somewhere to go? If not, maybe just swallow your pride for one more year and get out when you turn 18. Stay safe. Not the idiot. It's illegal for her to kick you out until you're 18. It's child abandonment unless they set up someplace for you to legally reside and pony up the cash to support you. If she tries to kick you out for real, you can absolutely call the cops. It sounds like your mom is shit enough to kick you out the second you turn 18, so you'd better get a job and start saving for then, and figuring out a plan for what you will do. Not the idiot. There is a huge difference between calling someone on their crap and saying mean things.